Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This, of course, is Thursday. It's 4 o'clock, and I'm Candid Stanisci, and I want to thank you for joining us for NLL Lacrosse Talk. Welcome to the Spanglish World Network on Zingo TV channel 250. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app at the respective app stores for iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment. Both apps are absolutely free. Zingo TV is available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire TV Sticks, Roku Sticks, and also on Smart TVs 2016 forward. And the star of the show, well, one of the stars, Gary Groob, is here with us, our co-host, and of course, a very special guest, former NLL player, Kim Squires. He's calling us from Six Nations. Kim, welcome to the program.
Hi.
So tell me, we always ask this question. I hope you're ready for it. Brace yourself. How did you pick up a stick?
I can't even remember. I just grew up with one. Like, I don't remember picking up a stick. I had one, and like every kid has one around here. As soon as you're born, you get a stick.
I see. So mom,
Because I cannot remember picking up a stick, and I naturally had a stick in my hand, or some kind of sports ball, or hockey stick, or basketball, anything, football.
What do you like about lacrosse the most?
I like the physical contact. Like, I've been watching the new NLL Lacrosse, and it doesn't seem as rough. It seems real fast, but it's not as rough as it used to be. They need to get some hit back in there.
There you go. Well, maybe it's because of the sticks. They're not wooden anymore.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think so, though. But
well, at least nowadays, with the plastic, as John Grant seniors, they call them, the fly swatters, your arms don't go numb when you get hit. I remember the old wooden sticks, and my arm would go numb every now and again, get one off the elbow.
Cool. In our league right now, I'm playing Senior B, Can-Am, and there's some wooden sticks out there, and I'm trying to avoid them as much as I can.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those leave marks.
That happened recently to me.
Okay. Let's talk about life on the res with you growing up, and of course lacrosse being a main thing, but getting into organized lacrosse there in junior, how did it all get started, and where did you wind up?
What do you mean? Where did I played in Six Nations, minor lacrosse all my life, and we just got a Rebels team. I went and tried out while I was still in midget, but I got cut. So the next year I went and tried out for the Arrows, and I was 96 and made the team. I had a good coach.
Well, let's talk a bit about talk about your coaching, and talk about how it developed you ready for the next level. Because the Arrows were a great organization.
Yeah, me personally, I didn't need much coaching. Like, I pretty much prepared myself because I was that motivated at the time to play in the NLL. So coaching really got to me when I met Les. When I met Les, that's when I started listening to coaches, I guess.
What was the quality that Les had that reached you?
I remember when I was at all the Bandits championship games, and I pretty much went to every Bandits game when he was winning all those NL championships, or MILL at that time, So I saw him winning those championships, and I met him when I was like 13, 14, because my brother Moose played on his team in Buffalo. And he's like, he met me and he laughed. It's like, I told him I want to play for you one day, and he kind of smirked and laughed at me because I was only like 4 foot, whatever, right? 9, whatever size it was at that time.
Right.
And he laughed like I was joking, but I wasn't joking. Because I had a Bandits jersey on. He's wondering where I got it from. It was my brother's Tigers jersey I was wearing. I was like, where'd you get that?
Is it also that, that you talk about the winning, but it's also the way he coaches and the way he coached that was attractive.
He never yelled. He could talk to his players. He wasn't a yeller. He was a talker. So that really helped me because I didn't like people who yelled.
Right.
People who told and tend not to listen.
Well, it's funny because, we had Johnny Moretti on a while back. And, of course, Buffalo was at a point where they had lost a bunch of games in a row, and they had to make a change early on in the Bandits' history, and it became either Johnny using himself or promoting less, and obviously he did the right thing.
Yeah, obviously. Would they win 3 in a row, or 3 in 4 years, or something like that?
Yeah, and they were undefeated in that 1 year, and it was it was a juggernaut team at that time. It was never seen before, but it was his coaching style that changed everything around in that team. And again, it was being able to be approachable, getting his message across, but not yelling, not any of that. Uh, Being a friend, but also being, the leader.
Yeah, I listened to even off the floor. I listened to him for some reason.
What do you think were his main tools for convincing players? Was he a bencher?
It's probably his strategy. His strategy, because he changed the NLL, I think. Because it wasn't one Lions, right? If you played offense, you kind of played defense, but he changed that. It's like your offense, your defense, and we had a couple guys who could play both, and they got to play both. But he changed it. He changed the game. I think that's 99 is probably when it started changing. Because
Right.
we moved that offense defense right away at 99. And I'm pretty sure everybody started following after that. Maybe 98.
Yeah, because 98 you joined on with the Ontario Raiders, right, over in Hamilton.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that he started that year going offense defense.
Right.
With certain guys that got to transition, like Toll and Langer and my brother and stuff, guys like that.
Right. But that was the trial balloon, and when they moved to Toronto in '99, all of a sudden it became the dynasty.
Yeah,
And,
we got that. So it was 5 in a row.
It should have been 5 in a row. That one against Philadelphia was a weird day altogether in front of a sellout. But man, that season you guys were just on fire all year, and the one game to have lay an egg happened to be the championship. But again, that should have been five in a row. But that team in itself and all the players, everybody had their role. You had your role. Colin had his role. Veltman, he had his. Everybody had a role to play, and everybody did their job. Let's talk about the team itself and just the camaraderie of that team.
That was a great team because it seemed like everybody got along. Well, I got along with everybody, and nobody never saw nobody arguing or saying whatever. Just everybody got along, and that was probably why we were so good. Like the BC guys got along with Ontario boys, and the Peterborough boys got along with the Six Nations boys, and Orangeville boys got along with us. So I remember we got rid of one guy that really didn't fit. I remember. Okay, I'll tell you the story. Michael he punched me. He punched me in practice because just because I was playing good. I could play a little bit defense and I could play offense. And he punched me, and he was gone in like 2 weeks. So
wow.
He kept guys that could get along. I guess didn't want none of that. Those kinds of issues.
Right. But again, it came down to character, not characters. He had a character team, not a bunch of characters on a team. Everybody had their job.
Oh, there was a bunch of characters on the team.
Oh, God, I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it. I wanted to say that. Oh. Well, but we just so we're all on the same page. The difference between character players that are honest, hardworking, understand the team game, as opposed to guys who are just there, I don't know, for a show, to be a show. And you had a lot of guys that were there to get the job done. And if there was a guy that didn't get the job done or didn't fit into getting the job done, as you described, he would be gone in 2 weeks.
Yeah, somewhat. Everyone knew their role and took it pretty seriously. Like I knew my role. I wasn't going to play defense. But if I got caught out there on defense, I was going to bust my ass off to play defense.
Right.
Because I knew what kind of style we were playing, so I understood it. But I wasn't out there to stop anybody.
But when it came time that you had to, you knew you had to do it, and you would do your best to do it.
Yes.
That's the definition.
I'm going to get caught over there once in a while. This will not look dumb over there.
That's the definition of character that Gary was referring to.
Mm-hmm. Now, you were the youngest on the team. You started at, what, 20? And you were on the Rock. That in itself is an achievement.
19. Yes, 19.
That's a heck of an achievement to get into the league, because I'm talking with a bunch of guys nowadays who are just getting into the league, 2021, and they're talking about the difference from junior to the NLL. What a humongous change for you to step in at 19, just as a absolute testament to just your skill and your abilities.
Oh man, I don't even want to say this, but I thought when I went to the NL, I thought it was easier. I don't know if that's right to say, but when I got there, it didn't seem out of place. I was like, this is where I was meant to be.
Right.
I don't want to say I'm smart, but I'm smart at lacrosse at least. And then with Les as a coach, it was pretty simple.
Yeah, I guess what you're talking about is to understand the mental side of the game at such a young age was an advantage, and it contributed to your ability to make the team.
Yeah, because I really like physical contact, like trying to have the best on me. I want the best on me. In junior, there's really good defensemen on me all the time because I was probably one of the main guys. Maybe that helped me in transition because I always had an NLL type of defenseman on me. Because I always had to play against the best, like Billy D and Andrew Turner and guys like that, Bruce Scott. Those guys all made it. And those are guys that faced in junior, so it was a good transition.
Those guys were humongous as well. Yeah, going up against Billy D, that's no easy task at any time, even if you were to do it today.
Yeah. It was fun. He was I don't want to say I got the better of him, I think, most time.
Now you won 4 championships with the Rock. 99, 2000, 2002, and 2003, correct?
99, 2000, 2003. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
2004.
Right. Okay. And after that, you wound up going to Rochester for a year, and then Buffalo. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I kind of quit on a team. I knew the coach didn't really like me. In Toronto, if Les was there, I probably would have still been there.
Right.
He didn't get sick, I probably would have been a lifer in Toronto. But when they signed me the first game, I knew the coach didn't like me. I took his spot, right? That's why he became a coach, because I got made the team.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of touchy subject, whatever. I just didn't feel wanted there no more, so.
Right. Now, heading into Rochester, their fan base is actually a very strong one as well. Did you find yourself, gravitating to them as well, to the fans? Because here you were Kid Rock. That was the thing.
I wasn't there long enough. I was only there half a season, I think, maybe not even.
Right.
But I did enjoy that they did got good fans. They did have good fans. I'm not sure about nowadays.
It's coming back slowly. They're still a little sour about their team moving to Halifax and them getting an expansion team, but you take lemons and make lemonade out of it, right?
Yeah. Well, when I went there, everyone made me feel comfortable because Kurt was there. I knew him. I knew Patty O'Toole.
Right.
I knew some other guys that made me feel comfortable. Coaching staff, yeah.
And then
it was very weird.
Right. And then of course you wound up in Buffalo in 2006 as they were just, ramping up, because 2008 was their big championship. But 2006 you wound up with 1 year there, which is kind of full circle since you started out watching the Bandits, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to play for when I was younger. That's when I was growing up. I wanted to be a Bandit. I wanted to be played with the bandits in Toronto come along.
Right.
It was even better, probably.
Now, you didn't have an easy ride because there were a couple of really, really tough injuries that you had. You had a car accident in 2001. You were supposed to be done for the year, but just like you're playing, you healed quick, and you were back in time for the playoffs.
I broke my leg that year too. I got in a car accident, and I got to play that week.
Right. You rolled your ankle, broke your ankle, right? 2001 still.
Broke my ankle. That was the week after I got in the car accident, so I had to be back a couple weeks there.
Yeah. Yeah, but you were supposed to be done for the year, and you were able to make it back, which is incredible.
I don't know if you're talking about off the broken leg or off the car accident, but I was okay off the car accident. I could barely see out of one eye.
Right.
It was very blurry, and maybe I shouldn't have. I kind of cheated on my eye exam so I could play that week. Like I mesmerized, like they made me close my bad or my good eye. I kind of had it mesmerized.
Right.
You look at all the letters on the board. Like I just mesmerized, and I got far enough where I said my eye's good enough. Maybe I should have did that. That New York game where I broke my leg.
Right. And then the following year, you wind up with staph infection, the flesh-eating disease, in 2002, and through antibiotics, whatever you get out of that. But you're able to come back and play.
That was sore. I'll admit that. Maybe I shouldn't even did that either because my hand looked good, but it hurt, and they went after my hand too. And I remember the first game I played against, came back from was the Rochester game. Oh, yeah. I remember getting slashed in the hand. It didn't feel good, but I just soaked it up.
Yeah, grin and bear it. Yeah.
Maybe I should have said, "Oh, when I was hurt."
Well, that was part of your thing, man. You just kept going and going and going. You and your brother Rod, right?
Yeah, he was there.
So together, you guys grew up together. He's older than you, right?
Yeah, he's like 7, 8 years older than me.
Right, and you're together on the Rock. So, what was it like? Was he able to guide you, or were you helping him, or how did this work?
I don't even think about that because I didn't really need help on maybe as trying to know people. Like, this is my first time on I want to say away team.
Right.
But yeah, maybe that helped me feel comfortable around people. But that team was so good at getting along together that it wasn't uncomfortable.
Right.
Like everyone got along.
Right.
I knew Colin before I went there, so.
Yeah, I want to get into that too because Colin Doyle, he loved having you around, and the two of you got along great. In fact, he had a lot to do with you returning in 2010 to come back to the Rock for that change of ownership and change of scenery and bring back the old dynasty more or less, and it brought back a championship in 2011.
Yeah, I wish we won in 2010 so I could got another ring.
One bad quarter. One bad quarter. That's all that was. But that was a great year. Because the city went through 3 not so great years from 2006 to 2009. Jamie buys a team in 2010, gets Colin back. Terry's in the bench with Cordingley, and all of a sudden, magic's happening again, and we're starting to relive the early 2000s in the city of Toronto. And when you came back, I have to admit there was a whole lot more energy in the crowd because we all remember the Kid Rock idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that because I wasn't in the crowd before. So I was kind of avoiding lacrosse, so I felt the same to me. It felt good, you know. It's like they want to cheer. Like, some cheer, but they'll get loud.
Yeah, and the crowds were coming back as well. So you had good crowds over at the Air Canada Centre as well. So it was easy to play in front of that home crowd.
Although the Gardens, that was the best.
Mm-hmm.
And those Gardens crowds, like they felt when they were on top of like the stairs, and it seems to more like they're more on top of you at the Gardens. Like
Yeah.
It was different. Like it's more up. Like in Eric Anderson, there's more like big lean, but in the Gardens, they felt right on top of you.
Yeah, exactly. Dallas Elliott said the same thing because him playing in the Spectrum was just, they were right on top of you there, as opposed to now where everything is cookie cutter. Every arena looks the same now, and everybody's spaced out and moved and further away. And
well, it's the angle of the seats, Gary.
Yeah.
At the Gardens,
the angle of the seats.
there was.
They were right on top.
Oh yeah, the angle made it look like I remember I remember watching a concert there, and I was up in the Grays, and I was leaning forward and grooving so much I thought I was going to fall to the floor, and that was a long distance away. So I can imagine what it feels like from the floor.
Yeah, I remember going at the being a fan at the Old Odd in Buffalo, and those were some steep stairs, and we were coming down at the nosebleeds where we sat. Man, you came down those stairs, it felt like you're going to fall right over the rail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time at the Odd also catching Bandage games, and yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. I never was in the top of the Gardens. I never went wandered around there. But I imagine that's what that.
Yeah, it was. It was
exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you also played with the Iroquois Nationals. You played with the under-19 team, which happened to be the first Native team to ever win a medal at the Worlds.
Yeah, we should have been the first team to win gold.
Right.
If they played all the Six Nations boys and more, we would have won.
What did that feel like?
What do you mean?
What did it feel like to be a part of something like that?
I didn't even enjoy it. I don't even think I brought the medal home with me. That's how mad I was.
Really?
You should have won gold or silver. You should have been in the championship because they only beat us by 1 goal, Canada and U.S. Pretty sure we had chances to win it, but they didn't play the right players.
Right. What always blows my mind is coming from a smaller pool, as Six Nations has, to draw players. The teams are always at the top, always, as opposed to, say, U.S. or Canada, who have these huge pools to draw players from. And the Six Nations crowd is much smaller, but always fantastic teams to this day.
Yeah, I was wondering about that myself, but I never figured it out. Maybe.
Well, you don't know why? You have any ideas about why?
Because we're always gonna have special players like Cody and Austin Stotts and guys like that coming through. So maybe because we got a couple other.
Maybe what you said at the beginning of the show pertains to it as well. The kids start at such a young age.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons. Everyone pretty much has a lacrosse stick when they are born or 1 or 2 years old. They'll get a lacrosse stick.
Yeah, they probably hand you a lacrosse stick after they cut the umbilical cord.
Yeah,
that was a joke. I apologize.
I do. I see baby pictures, and the first pictures with a lacrosse stick. So around here.
Yeah.
So that's not far off.
There's a lot of pride in lacrosse when it comes to our Native Canadians.
I'm still trying to figure out that one question. Why do we have such a small pool, such a big team?
Well, for one, the area is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
To draw from.
So much smaller. When did we get them win? What did we win at the last box lacrosse? Silver, right?
Yeah. So I'm looking for big things out of them come Utica in September. I think they're going to shock the world. They're such a great group of players that I think that this is going to be a great year.
It was Candid and Iroquois, right?
That's right. That's right.
I don't remember if we got beat bad or it was close or what. These guys
it wasn't a close game, but it wasn't a blowout either.
One of these times you got to pull it off.
I think so. Like I say, when you look at the native roots that are playing in the NLL today, and you look at the top players on most every team, it's coming from Six Nations. So we put everybody together. I think that that this is a world that people will take notice of.
Yeah, we do have some really good players though. My nephew's very into Austin Stotts now. That's his favorite player, and I've watched him a couple times. He's pretty good. Like
Right. I was lucky enough to watch Austin through his junior days also with the Arrows, and of course that Minto Cup team in 2017, which just was, well, now it would be an NLL All-Star team, but you go from Doug Jamieson and net all the way out Austin Stott. It's just incredible, the amount of talent that was there. Nanakoke at that time was more than just standing in front of the net. Every play ran through him at that time.
I can't tell you what happened because I never really watched and kind of avoided lacrosse for a while. I wasn't a big lacrosse fan for a while, so
right.
So I can't tell you much about them.
Gary, hang on 1 second. I just want people to know that we're using our technology here. I got a phone, and I just wanted to make sure the volume is right. I took the cover off so that you could hear a little better, Gary. I just want you to know that the only reason that sometimes Gary's stepping over what you're saying is because he can't hear you as well as I'd like him to hear you. So I changed things a little bit here, just so you know, and for the viewers. So I think it might be a little better now, I think.
And just a reminder, we have Kim Squire on the phone with us, former NLL player. And we were talking about the Haudenosaunee team, more or less at that time the Iroquois team. But your thoughts on the Haudenosaunee team now, and are they more organized than they were before?
It seems to me now that there's more. We only had maybe a couple NLL players at the start. When I first went, half our team was NLL, but now their full team is NLL. So I'm pretty sure they can compete better. Because if I can remember, there was a lot of NLL players on our team, but not everybody. Half our team was NLL, and not all the best was there. Because my brother wasn't there. A couple of my brothers probably could have made it.
Right.
A couple of guys that should have probably played on that team from here that didn't play. So my brother was an NLLer, and he didn't try out. He wasn't really interested.
Right. Now, an interesting one is you had Zed Williams, who might try out for the Buffalo Bills. A big enough guy that he might try out as a linebacker on the Bills. That's incredible that, lacrosse, you have to go up against him.
Yes. I played my nephew-in-law told me what kind of size he is because I never met him. He's like 6'3", like 240, all muscle or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he's going to do all right. If that he's training for a linebacker. I'm a Dolphins fan, so I really don't like it. But I'm a Dolphins fan. He's the Bills. He's training for the Bills.
Yes. Yes. But, man, what a shot he's got. Again, I've watched him in Senior B. I've watched him in Junior. I've watched him all the way through. And that shot that he's got is just an absolute howitzer.
Did he play in NL this year?
He did, and he was with Colorado. I'm hoping he comes back.
Man, if it makes the Bills, he can't come back.
No, that's true. That's true. So, I say my lacrosse fan hopes he doesn't, and he comes back to lacrosse. But as for him making money, it'd be great to see him in the NFL, right?
Yeah, that would be great just to see a native in the NFL. I don't even know if there's any natives that made it to the NFL. Pretty sure there has been, but I never looked into it.
Right. Well, we just had our first native win the Stanley Cup, right?
Montour, yeah. First Six Nations guy.
Yeah.
Native,
well, George Armstrong won a Stanley Cup for Toronto.
That's right.
Yeah, he was native.
So.
There's a couple other guys. They're natives from across Canada or across the States, from like the Dakotas and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, that guy Brandon, he won the Stanley Cup in the Minto, so that's pretty good. Because only Gary Roberts and Joe Newday did that.
Yep.
Yep. Now, I thought you brought up Austin Stotts. I thought he should have been the MVP of the Worlds last year in the field, World Field Championships. I know my vote in the media went towards him because he was just incredible. You know.
Yeah, they put up a lot of points because
him and Lyle Thompson also was just absolutely phenomenal. And you give him that extra space on a field, and it's just incredible.
Right? It was made for lacrosse box, but field lacrosse, because that's probably what he grew up playing.
Right.
And he looks like a fast kid.
He is in all those moves, all the moves that you see on the box. Well, here, when you give him that extra bit of room where he can actually really maneuver, it's just something else.
Yeah, there is. I'm not a big field lacrosse fan because that's why I don't like about it. There's too much room. Like right. I like the box game where it's enclosed and you gotta hit. I do like the face-off rule in field lacrosse though, where you can hit right off like 2 or 3 feet off the ball.
Yeah.
You used to be able to do that. I'm not sure if you can do it now.
Right, because the PLL's changed all the rules up. You know, it's funny because, you know, the PLL kind of spoiled us, you know, by putting shot clocks in and 2-point goals and other things. You know, you watch the Worlds and there's no shot clock. And you get a team that's good at passing and they can kill 4 or 5 minutes, which isn't very exciting for the fans. That's my take on field is, you know, if you can speed that up, then we have something.
I didn't like that rule either.
Right. Well, now that the Olympics are taking lacrosse in 2028, what's your thoughts on lacrosse making the next step and getting into the Olympics, which gives another 280 countries or more a chance to see this, even though it's not going to be in its purest form?
Yeah, and we're not even going to get a team in there, are we? The Iroquois.
I think you will. I think you will.
I'm hearing we're not going to, but I'm not. I don't really follow it.
I know that Oren Lyons and the rest of the guys behind the scenes are trying everything they can to get it in there, because normally the rule is that to get a team you have to have 3 events, and of course, you know, yeah, we only have lacrosse for the Haudenosaunee, but
I'll stop in there for golf.
Yeah, throw somebody in a volleyball, throw somebody in and you know, to swim, you know, anything, but.
I'm pretty sure we got some swimmers around here.
I'm sure there is, but I say that I'm pretty sure that they're working on getting them into that. First step, of course, is just getting the Worlds out of the way, and then they can focus all their attention there. But again, your thoughts on getting lacrosse in general into the eyes of another 200, 300 countries, and is this the break that we've been waiting for? To take it away. I know we've been starting to make steps by getting it on TV, but do you think this is the big one to actually get it off the ground floor and boom, maybe we get it full time and guys make money, make a career out of this?
I'd like to see the boss game get in. Because I'm not a real big fan of the field, but it will help out lacrosse altogether. But if it was box lacrosse, I'd be a little bit more excited.
Right. Well, we're putting that mix, right?
Yeah, to get eyes on the sport and get them to know lacrosse, it's going to help.
Right.
I wish it was box.
Right. Well, we're putting 6s in, right? So it's kind of the mix of field box together.
Say that again, because I don't understand that.
Oh, that they're playing with 6s. They shrink the field, play field lacrosse, shrink the field, and lessen the amount of players that are on the field, 6 aside.
Oh, yeah. 6 players and a goalie?
Yeah. Well, 5 players and a goalie.
5 players and a goalie, like hockey.
Okay. Well, like boxing.
They're trying to do something that we've talked about this with a lot of people, and I think the biggest reason why they're doing it like this is because this is a way that most of the world can play. A lot of the reasons a lot of sports aren't so popular in the world is because a lot of people can't afford to play games like hockey, games that require a lot of equipment and stuff, right? So if you have a field and then you have a minimum amount of players, you don't need to have 20 players or whatever to play a game. It's a great way to start the game, if you will. It's a starter version of lacrosse. I don't think it's the end state, but it's the starter.
Yeah, so because most countries don't have arenas too, right?
Right, exactly.
Like if you go to Africa or like whatever.
Right.
There's no access to arenas, no access to equipment, no access to maybe if you start to play on the field, at least that cuts one element of cost out.
Yeah. And then, also it's basically you can play almost anywhere, right? You just got to decide on a patch of grass where to put the field and put a couple of stakes in for a goal. I mean,
Yeah, whatever, right?
Yeah. That's what'll make the game more popular when it's more accessible by more people. And now, I guess to Gary's point, we've talked about this a lot, and the more people that see it, the more people that'll be curious about it, that weren't born with sticks in their hand, that may say, you know what, I'd like to give this a try.
Yeah, this is going to help our sport overall.
There you go. That was the answer to Gary's question.
Right. Now, also, there's no face-offs after the initial face-off to start the half. When they score, scoop it out of the net and keep going. So it's just a continuous play.
Just like all I played when I was young. Then
yeah, exactly.
Pick up lacrosse. Yeah, pick up. Backyard lacrosse.
Yeah,
exactly. It's almost like shinny for lacrosse.
Yeah, we only had when I was young. We always had 10 guys around, just 5-on-5.
Yeah,
everyone went to start. All right. Shit. Whoops, sorry.
No, it's okay.
That's okay.
I'll forgive you for saying shit.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's say it's quick paced. What they're doing is they're going to try and make it that, again, countries that have no idea what they're watching will be tuning in going, what is this? I got to see more of this. And then try and hook them in there. And my thought always is once we get them, then we can teach them tradition.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like something that could happen because you're right. Not everyone has access to arenas.
No.
Not even all the pads.
No.
Not the nets.
Well, the native history was playing in a field, right?
Yeah.
And they've created some pretty good, it's the creators' game, and they created a lot of great players. So they must be doing something right.
Well, I know that the Uganda program has been going on for a while too, because now there's a bunch of them that have come over and actually on scholarships into the U.S. A friend of mine who's out in Peterborough has put together drives and sent equipment over to Uganda to help. I always find it funny when I see video and I start seeing Lakers jerseys running up and down the field, Peterborough Lakers jerseys.
I should get someone around here to do that because I know people that just have a lot of equipment laying around.
Oh, that'd be good.
That'd be fantastic. I'll get in touch with you off of this, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we might see some Six Nations jerseys and all over the place.
Yeah,
that would be cool. That would be very cool.
That would be
would be very appropriate too, since the founders of the game. That should be out there as well. But there's a lot of places. There was a story. Michelle Boyer was on our show not long ago. And they formed the Women's Box Lacrosse Global Network and have been working with getting the women's game brought front and center. And they played out in Prague in a box tournament called She Box. And I believe it was the Hong Kong team, their equipment got lost. Well, they brought over and sent over a whole mess of equipment that they had donated. Well, they were able to equip this team so they're able to play. So it's working in both genders now. So
only that there's an extra challenge with the ladies because the equipment has to be a little different to suit their body types.
Yes.
Yeah, you're talking about field lacrosse. They don't even wear no equipment, do they? Just wear those glasses and gloves, and only in the sure if they wear gloves.
Right, but I'm talking about box because women's box.
It was the box tournament in Europe.
In fact, the women's going to be at the World Tournament in Utica in September. There's going to be 10 teams entered in the women's side too now.
I I see that in our papers around here. Couldn't show me ladies team, women's team.
Yeah,
they have a pretty good team too, from what I've seen. So look for big things there too to compete with Canada.
I used to like watching women's lacrosse right when it first started a long time ago. It was entertaining. It was very entertaining.
And it's funny because when you ask most of the women what they think about what's the reason why they got into it, what's the thing that keeps them in the game, is the same answer as you. The physicality.
Yeah.
The physicality.
Yep. They know they took hits. They were giving hits, and I liked it.
Exactly.
They were, I don't want to say clumsy, but they could stand on their feet too good.
Right. That'll all come in time, though, as the more experience they get.
Yep.
But the crop of younger players who have grown up with it, just like all the rest of us had grown up with it, well, they're catching up slowly. But once that takes a foothold and then the youngsters are growing up with it, here it goes.
Yeah, I would say Japan has come up soon. Because when I played against them in '99, I thought they were pretty good on the field stage.
They were one of the teams that just opened my eyes entirely in San Diego last year in the World Field. They were one of the few teams that were homegrown, and they were fast, and they were obviously in the wrong group because they were just taking apart teams in their group. And when they got transferred over to the Canadian Haudenosaunee English group, U.S., they held their own. They didn't do great, but they held their own, which in my eyes means that's the group they need to be in. That will take them to the next level because that's what they're going to have to gear for.
Oh, yeah, I thought about that 20 years ago, 25 years ago. It was '99. I was like, this team's good. They weren't very, I don't want to say talented because they could catch the ball and stuff. They seemed like they were well coached. They could run. It was hard to keep up with them.
Right.
They just need some pure goal scorers. Maybe that's what they're lacking, I think.
Well, what I'm noticing now, because I've been off to Prague a couple of times for the Rubeski tournament, is that European lacrosse is starting to catch up to North American lacrosse now as well, more or less because we're getting a lot of former NLL guys going and coaching these teams.
Yeah, they're going over there helping. The guys are from there, right? Or they're originally from there, and they go their heritage.
Yeah. Well, you have Neil Palace. He's coaching the Dutch team, right? Both field and box.
Yeah. Well, he must be Dutch then.
Well, it's also the with the Dutch. It's also the correlation between the native and the Dutch going back centuries, and they've worked on that to bring that closer together too. So it's a long-standing relationship between the native people and the Dutch, which really is terrific watching this. And these guys are all tall, lanky guys, and you get the right coach like Neil, and all of a sudden they're going to become skilled, and they're going to be very difficult to play.
Yeah, maybe I should go help Japan.
There you go.
There you go. That'd be great. That would be my next question to you: is have you ever thought about getting back into it in a form of a coach?
No, I'm not a coach. I'm not a talker. I could probably do strategy. And I can't teach what I know. Of course, that's hard to understand. I wouldn't be able to teach kids. So I'm not a teacher. I'll just put it that way.
Well, there's always room for a strategist on a team.
See, I would have to be assistant coach. I don't want to say.
Well,
that would work too.
A lot of assistant coaches become head coaches.
Those are the good talkers, though.
Well, as long as you don't yell, we established that early in the program.
Yeah, don't yell. That's what we'll be able to teach kids. I don't think. I don't only know about adults.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, excuse me.
Well, I think with your experience and with your know-how, I think you'd make a great coach. But that's all about you being comfortable in the role. But as an assistant, that would be fantastic. What a great way to get in and see if that's where you find a comfort zone. Now we talked briefly about the NLL and it's in a sense softer. It's faster, but softer. What are your thoughts on everything in the NLL, and where do you see it going? Do you think that they're able to get it full time at some point soon?
I think they would have to cut the summer game down, the summer league down to 10 games for the seniors. But wouldn't you kind of cut into the Man Cup, like the summer league, if it had to go full time? That's what I think. Because
Right.
they do have to extend the season.
Yeah, I think well, MSL and that would probably go back to being amateur, like it was originally, as opposed to now where it's a NLL Part 2.
Yes, you'd have to figure that out, and what would happen to the Man Cup?
Right.
When I grew up, I'd want to win the Man Cup more than the NL Cup.
There's still a lot of guys like that. That just still means a lot more. You won one Man Cup, right? We were with the Coquitlam Madanax, right? 2001.
Yeah. Yes. Great.
Now, my question was, how did you get involved with Coquitlam?
Well, half the guys played there. Like Colin already had a couple of years there, or a year there. Stroob. What else we have on there? Well, then a lot of Colin, and that's Colin. Colin got me there.
Okay.
Colin's like, let's go. Let's go. I was like, all right, let's go. Got a chance to win. Shit, our team was up almost all NLLers. Maybe over 75% of our team was in this.
Right.
I knew who was coming. Like I knew from the rock who was coming. So I was like, that's how I got into it. Like, fuck, we can win.
Right.
Plus, the Man Cup in BC that year. I guess let's get there first.
Talk a little bit about the relationships you've had with other players and the game of lacrosse and the people in it. What are some of your favorite memories?
Are you talking off the floor or on the floor with these guys?
Either, because from what I understand, both are as much fun as the other.
Well, playing under Les was simple because he made it simple.
Right.
You just had to listen and pretty much do what he said and win the game. And he wasn't a yeller, so that relationship was good. Plus, he off the floor, he kind of taught me stuff too. So that was a good relationship. And Delby, I grew up with Delby since I was like 4 or 5 years old, and still my great friend to this day. And it was great playing with him because he got open all the time. I don't know why. He wasn't fast. He wasn't fast. He was just open. Playing with Colin, he was a big boy, so the pick and roll game was pretty simple with him.
Right.
It was so simple. It's pick roll. So such an easy play. I don't understand why people. It seems like people don't know how to do it correctly.
What do you think that is? Do you have any ideas of why it's like that?
Like I'm thinking they're not getting taught it.
Might it also be because they're not playing as physical as often, so they don't know how to play physical and how to play in close?
Like I'm playing on a team right now where a couple guys don't really know how to pick and roll, right? I don't understand why not. We're men now. And you should know how to do that. Because I've been doing it since Brandon Hill. He's my cousin. That's who I started picking and rolling with. That was my first year with the Arrows. I never did it much in midget. Pick and roll wasn't really involved very much in midget or midget lower. Like we weren't getting taught it. When I got to junior, I started playing with Brandon. That's where I learned how to pick and roll. And I went and took it, and they actually came to me and called, and like, it was so simple. I don't even remember getting taught pick and roll. Maybe we taught it ourselves. Well, I don't know what they're doing nowadays to teach it.
Well, maybe we finally heard your assistant coach role. Pick and roll. Teaching guys how to pick and roll, guys and gals, both.
Correctly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Exactly. No better way to do it from somebody who knows how to do it. And again, strategy and teaching all the other aspects. And I think it would be second nature. I think once you had to be on the floor, it'd be second nature for you?
One thing that bugs me is people don't pick up the ball fast enough when the ref when they change the possession. Like, get that ball in their stick as quick as possible, because that's when everyone's kind of not thinking. You know,
Right.
like,
Right. Catching teams while
Napping.
they're napping or while they're changing or other things.
yeah, you can do so much off that. It's like a second you get.
A positive.
The other thing I want to ask you just before we finish is we now have positions for everything. We have Fogo, we have face-off guys, we have transition guys. Way back when, and when you were playing originally, you played both ends of the ball. Now, granted, you had your strong suit, which was offense, but you could play defense. Do you think we lose something now with all these other things? Because it's not the fastest game on 2 feet anymore. When we saunter up to the floor and wait to change for our offense to come off, and the transition part of it is a lost art.
Yeah, you only got certain people for that, though, too, right? Transition guys. Those are the guys that can play both ways. So, in junior, we played 3 lines, and I had to play defense. And that was right to my Miami junior. And, yeah, transition's gone. It's not transition that's gone. It's 2-way players that are gone, almost.
Right.
I'm looking for the right words, but I can't think.
Well, it's funny because when Lewis Radcliffe was on the show, he goes, "Yeah, nobody's paying to watch me play defense," which was his theory on it. Yeah.
I can play defense, and I think that's where all transition goals come from. Like, that's where I watch people's eyes when I'm on defense, and I kind of let them think they can pass it there, but they really can't. And that's one of my favorite things to do.
It also gets the bench disheveled, right? Like, if you're down the floor and you're going, all of a sudden they're jumping off the bench early, taking penalties, which puts you on to special teams and putting on power plays, which also helps out with the goal scoring.
Yeah. I like playing defense. Then when they bag there when I was older. So the guys are too big, probably.
Now, you said you're playing Senior B still?
Yeah, I'm playing for the Grand River Warriors. Senior B Can-Am, if you heard of that league.
Yes, I have. This year we're back to normal Senior B as opposed to the almost MSL WLA last year when it was over when the President's Cup was in Oakville, where every team had 15 NLL players on it.
Yeah, that rule changed, right, this year. They're only allowed to have 5.
Yeah.
That should help all the Senior B all together for keeping it. Because that Ladner team, they had all NLL players.
Every single one of them. That's right. And so did Oakville, for that matter.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that part. I just thought Ladner did. But, yeah, if they cut it down to 5, at least that gives everybody in the whole league that doesn't have all the money to back it up but get all these NLL players. It just makes it even.
Well, it also puts it like it's supposed to be. Like Junior B is supposed to be, or Senior B is supposed to be, for the guys who aren't making it in Senior A. Senior A is the NLL guys and whatever. Senior B is supposed to be for everybody else who can make the team.
Yeah, who got cut from Senior A.
That too.
It's not for. Yeah,
it's supposed to be Senior A too, right?
You should have a whole team of NLL or LLers on a Senior B team.
No, I agree. I think the rule change was well needed, and thank goodness it's in. Because I love watching Senior B. I'm all over the place. I cover it. I'm their media guy, so I'm at a lot of the Senior B games. So I have a lot of fun watching them. There's some great games.
Yeah, you probably seen it because my nephew Joe just got called up a couple games recently. I don't know.
Right.
Know him, Joe Squire.
Mm-hmm. Right.
My nephew plays on Rivermen, and my nephew-in-law plays on the Rivermen.
They got a dynamite team this year. The Rivermen are just awesome. Them and the Brooklyn Merchants are the 1-2 teams. And they had a slobber knocker last week, and I'm sure they're gonna have another one coming up. So it's gonna be awesome to watch. Kim, this hour went by really, really quickly. I really want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us and to relive a little bit of memory lane and to talk a little bit about where you're at now. And I love it. Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. And I would like to say hi to Lori because just in case she's listening. I don't know if she is.
She will be.
She will be, I'm sure.
All right.
Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it.
It was fun for me too. And really brought up a couple of old memories and stuff.
That's
Well,
awesome. That's
we're
awesome.
happy that you could share them with us, and if it did something good for you, that's a bonus.
Got me off work all early.
You're welcome again.
Bonus. You're welcome.
Thanks for doing this.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Frank. Always great to talk lacrosse.
Yep. For Gary and Kim, Gary Groob and Kim Squire, I'm Candid Frank Stanisci. Thank you for watching NLL Lacrosse Talk. Seen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show can also be heard on the Spanglish World Radio Network. For Lacrosse Talk, news, entertainment, and other sports programming we offer, please check out SpanglishWorld.ca. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, live it. And don't forget Candid Frank Stanisci on YouTube. Until Thursday, have a great day.